Well, thank you very much. The world is, in many ways, organized in a nested system. And so we have nations. Within those, we have industries. Within industries, we have corporations. Within those, we have business units. Within those, we have teams. Within the teams, we have people. And within our people, we have brains. And we're nested. It turns out that as I have, and my colleagues have tried to understand how business works, we've developed a set of theories. And when I say a theory, what I mean is a statement of causality, an understanding of what causes what and why. And some of you know some of the theories. Disruption is a theory. And what it asserts is that the mechanism that causes successful companies to fall is not that they're not at their work, but rather somebody comes in at the bottom of the market and moves up. And that's the mechanism, the pursuit of profit from at the bottom of the market that makes success so hard to sustain. There's another theory called the theory of the preservation of modularity. And the theory of the preservation of modularity explains, among other things, why the euro doesn't work and why SAP implementation systems are so difficult and complicated. And there's another theory called jobs to be done. And what it asserts is that, here's clay. I have characteristics. Unfortunately, am 60 years old now. I live in the suburbs. 5 children, unfortunately, have all left and are living independently, and life has become boring. But the fact that I have those characteristics doesn't cause me to go out and buy the New York Times. There might be a correlation between my characteristics and the propensity to buy the New York Times, but the characteristics don't cause me to do anything. What causes us to do something is there's a job that arises in our life, and we have to get the job done. And what causes us to buy a product or a service is we have to reach out and find something that can do the job and pull it into our lives. And that's the causal mechanism behind a purchase, is understanding what's the job. And the insight there is that the customer is the wrong unit of analysis. It's the job that we need to understand. So these are all theories, and some of you know those and a number of others from our research. What we have learned, and inadvertently in many ways, is that these statements of causality apply at every stage in this nested system. And so the theories help us understand why nations lose their competitiveness, why Japan was so successful and then died, for example, and why America finds it so hard to regain our momentum. And that goes all the way down to the point of teams. Well, a number of years ago in my course at the Harvard Business School, in this course we study these theories, try to understand them, then put these theories on like a set of lenses and examine companies or economies or industries, and try to understand, can we understand why things are happening the way they're happening and what actions would lead what results. At the end of the course on the last day, rather than asking them to just put on these lenses and examine yet another company, I asked them to look in the mirror and ask them, can you explain why your life is the way it is today because of these theories? And can you predict what will happen in your life if you continue to do what you are now doing? And it's been a remarkable experience to see the students come back on the last day of class, and with causal theories as the explanation, what they need to change in their lives so that their life will be the life that they hope to live. And I thought I'd just offer a couple of these in the hopes that as entrepreneurs and ambitious people, you end up living the life that you hope you will live. So one of the things we observed, as I mentioned, is that what kills successful companies is somebody comes in at the bottom of the market. So if you go back a few years ago in telecommunications, the darlings of the industry were Lucent and Nortel, made circuit switching technology. And this rusty little or small company, not very consequential, called Cisco, emerged. And their technology, the router, wasn't good enough to be used in voice. But they deployed it at the bottom of the market with data, and then went up market and ultimately killed Lucent and Nortel. And the reason why is that when they looked down at a router, the router on every dimension wasn't as good. And so they kept making better and better circuit switch devices. And we ask ourselves, I wonder who decided at Lucent that they should go out and get killed? And when was the date on which they decided they would get killed? And the answer, of course, is that nobody made the decision. In fact, what happened is all the individual people in a very successful organization did everything right. But because they did all of these things independently and what made sense in those circumstances, when it summed up to disaster. Well, the reason why it sums up to disaster is they're trying to maximize their profitability. And typically, the way you calculate profitability, tomorrow's investments that pay off tomorrow go to the bottom line and are much more tangible than investments that pay off 10 years from now. Well, when I go back to my graduating classes, I graduated from the MBA program at Harvard in 1979. We have a reunion every 5 years. When we came back